I want to talk to you today about what I thought Diablo was going to be and how Diablo is really never going to be good. Like people say, is it good now? Another thing is, Diablo let me down. It really did. It let me down, but I know the way they could fix it. I know all the ways that they could fix it. Let's talk about that. First of all, when I heard Diablo 4 was coming, the way they portrayed Diablo 4, and I never played any Diablo game, but Diablo 4 called me because the way they painted it was basically like a MMO. It looked like a MMO. You were going to be able to play online with mounts, and they promoted that it was going to be social and the world is going to be vast. And I said, wow, that actually sounds amazing. So I really got hyped for the game. I thought it was gonna be a slow pace fighting demons type game because I'd never played action what is it, action RPG, whatever this is called. And to be honest, I don't know. I played Diablo, and to be honest, the world of Diablo is a masterpiece. I keep saying this every time I talk about the world of Diablo. It's a masterpiece, and they really did everything in the first cutscene of the game, how the game motivates you to play. It was really like, I'm into it. I'm into how dark and gritty it is. But the crazy thing about that is you never see that. Or you only see that at the beginning. And then you see it at the very end when Inarius and Lilith actually face each other. And that's pretty much it. The best parts of the game, in my opinion, are the times you go to hell where you meet Mephisto in his dark form, and you never see those places again, or at least you never see them enough. And for the game ended up not really being an MMO. It ended up being something. First thing I thought was, why am I fighting spiders, vampires, and demons all at the same time? Like, the game doesn't know what to throw at me. I really would have wanted for areas to make more sense, for the enemy to be more connected to the environment it's in. And it has places that they do well, but most of the game it's just a mix mash of monsters thrown at you all at once, even if they make no sense, where there's spiders, werewolves, demons, everything, vampires, snakes, and pigs, everything jumping at you at the same time. They could have done so much better to make it feel like the enemies were actually a part of the game. Sometimes they're all cluttered together that makes no sense, and they feel so separated from the world itself. The other thing is, Diablo is a world where you're encouraged to go fast pace, run everywhere, go fast killing monsters, fast everything. And I would have enjoyed the game so much more if it would have been like its original, like the original. Now, after I got into Diablo, I actually look back to the original games and YouTube videos and stuff like that, like the Ackman, for example. And he portrays Diablo 2 and Diablo 1 like slow pace where you could actually enjoy the environment. And they did such a good job creating the environment for you to not really look at it twice and not look at it at all. A lot of people just breeze through the game without looking at anything. And it's a shame because I think that's where they really put the work. The other thing is, I was expecting to have lively towns and talk and do side quests. I was looking forward to the slow pace, actually. I was really looking forward to the slow pace of questing and storylines and engaging and being a part of this world that was going to be alive. But one of the first things is when I joined the game is that you can't even trade items in the game. A lot of the items were locked. There's no economy. There's no way to communicate with people. The game really sold me something. The bosses never came out until like 3 hours. Like, there was so much that it was not what I expected. It was different, and that's why I enjoyed the first run, because I played the story. It was different, and it really gives the game what the game does good is actually give you the sense of power. That power urge you need, it satisfies that power urge. If you got the right build and you're playing the right class in the season, if not, you're gonna suffer. That's another thing. Like, this game, what would make it better is so many more classes. At this point, the mistake they did is like this, like, you gotta do everything, and then you gotta go to world tier 2 and do everything again. Then you gotta go to world tier 3, and then you gotta, guess what? You gotta find your gear, max out your stats, do everything, gem everything, find the gear again in a higher level. So you're doing the same thing over and over and over. And to me, that is not good gameplay. That is not engaged. That's just making me repeat the same steps. And then guess what? On top of that, you gotta repeat every time the season starts, you gotta repeat everything all over again. So what kills the game, what really kills the game is all the repetitiveness. It should have been really a game where it was vast and wide and slow paced, not short bursts. That's what the game is described as, in my opinion. Short bursts of power, short bursts of every little world. You play world 1 in a short burst, then you repeat world tier 2 in a short burst, and it's just not. It's not fun. Killing monsters is fun. The chaos is fun. But when you look back at the original games, you fight a couple of skeletons that was slow paced. Then the skeletons got stronger and monsters got stronger. But they were a menace. Monsters mattered. You got to see their design because they were moving slow. You get to analyze every monster and appreciate how they were designed and what threat level they were. Now, you kill the monsters, you don't even know what you killed, what showed up, what was that, what just happened. You don't even, a lot of the times, you don't even know what killed you. It's a mismatch of colors and chaos, and you're like, it just makes no sense. Like back in the day, it looked like there was specific monsters that were actually a menace. Like they were like, what was it? Like Dark Knights or Death Knights, and you run into 2 of those, and you're like, oh snap, just 2. But if you run into a room and you run into 10 of them, forget it. You knew at that moment it was over. It was over. You were up for a challenge and you're not sure if you were gonna survive. It was a long, tedious battle of survival, intensity, intense moments. Like, not just like what killed me. What was that? Like what happened? I'm not sure. Like everything's so fast paced. It's ridiculous. And I think the game would have done so much better in a slow pace. And I think the game at this point, not only do they can't fix it. The game is broken in its core. Like they will have to reborn the game like Final Fantasy did, that Final Fantasy Online that they did, Realm Reborn. They literally had to reborn Diablo. And it's crazy because I play a lot of MMOs. Like I love Elder Scrolls Online. I've been playing that game for years. I love my character. I love how vast the world is. And I'm not even close to be done with how massive the world is. And I really wish Diablo would have been like that. That, it was a long journey, very long journey. But it seems like these action RPG gamers, they just want to do it in one day. So I guess they're trying to, keep the game how it's always been, I think. But it wasn't always like this. And I don't know what's the rush. It's like Diablo players, like the main Diablo players, they just want to rush it. They want to. Me as a casual, I'm happy that in this season, at least playing Necromancer, I get to play finally the class I've always wanted to play, which is messed up because I feel like the game should be balanced where you could play any class and they should be equally. I feel like every class should be equal at the end. You're level 100 and every class is viable. Play as you wish. That's another promise they were saying at the beginning. Play as you wish. Yet, no, you have to play the meta. You have to play a specific class whenever it's available to play. So I had to wait till season 4 to actually enjoy playing Necromancer. That's ridiculous. That's not good game. It's not good game design. And everybody knows this season is Loot Reborn because they got that so wrong to begin with. They got the loot so wrong. Like you had to, as a person that just wants to kill demons, we don't want to be messing with the loot all day. What happened to the simple days when you grab the green loot and it's just better than the normal loot. Then you grab the purple loot, which is epic and it's better than the green loot. But the blue loot is in between the green loot and the purple loot. And when you get an orange loot, which is the legendary, then it's just better in general. But they put all these stats, all these so they're trying to fix that, and I feel like yes, let's give them credit. They fixed one thing, the worst one, which was that annoying loot and all the annoying stats. At least they fixed one thing. But every 90% of the game is still broken. 90% of the game is still like, what's going on? Another point I gotta give them is Helltide. Helltide finally feels like it was supposed to feel in the beginning. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy that it starts from World Tier 1. I really enjoy it, but at the same time, it gets so chaotic. I just feel another, like the whole fact that you can't play the class you want. At this point, everybody's played the game multiple times with multiple classes and even one season. You would have to reborn the game with then rework the whole monsters to be slow, methodical, actually mean something. Rebalance all the classes, plus include new classes, because at this point nobody wants to do the same thing over again, which seems to be like they thought this was going to be a successful. They thought this was going to be successful. Why? I want to feel like I'm working. Why do I want to repeat the same thing every day? Don't I do that enough at work? No, I want to. They have to put at least. I'm not talking about one class. I'm talking about they need to put at least 3 or more new classes. Especially the disappointing part that they never put a holy knight or some kind of holy monk or something. A priest. Like, come on, it's a Diablo game. Not only it's a Diablo game, that Diablo does not appear. Right? Diablo is not in the game, which is crazy. But at the same time, there's no holy. When I saw Inarius, guess what I wanted to be? Inarius. When I saw the wings, when I saw the holy, like how epic they portrayed it in the scene, I say, oh, I want to be that. I want to be that, yo. Then the story is the story. You can't do anything about it. But I really wish I could have had an option to choose my side. Are you with Inarius or are you with Lilith? And you would have probably got different cosmetics depending on what side you chose and finished the story. And then you would have had to play the story all over again and choose the other side to get a different ending and a different cosmetic. And then there would have been a secret ending. Because to be honest, I really felt for Lilith. At the end of the day, I was a big Lilith fan. And then we have to kill her. We have to kill her. We have to this whole thing where you're like, I would have never done that, but here we are. And the whole thing where you just start the game and you're like, who am I? Where do I come from? Like, I have no idea why I'm here, but I'm gonna deal with everything that's going on because apparently I have nothing better to do. I don't know. There's so much that the game is missing to be a game. To be a game, it's missing. It's like the skeleton frame for a game. And like I said, I love the artwork. I love the graphics. I love the artwork. I love how the game looks. I like it's amazing. The gore, they did so good with the gore in this game. They did amazing. The like to be honest, this is an adult game. And we're missing a lot of adult games because of course America is censored as hell. Some people can't even see violence because they start like, oh, but think of how the kids or whatever, the violence. Like, dude, it's mature. The kids shouldn't even be playing it. Like, the whole fact that people are so offended by gore and all this, when we're way past this, guys. We're way past this. Unless you're a hardcore religious person, you shouldn't even be playing this to begin with. The game is called Diablo. It literally, it literally was created from the ashes of the satanic scare from D&D Dungeons and Dragons. Like that's a whole nother issue. Let me not even keep talking about that because it has nothing to do with the game and how the game let me down. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's just an empty vessel of what it could have been. It could have been so much more. Like people were speculating on different mounts. Like they literally had to buff the mount. Could you believe that the mount was broken where you couldn't run in your mount? Like there was a cooldown on your mount because for some reason your mount has to start their engine. Like I don't know, but like, dude, it's like they wanted to do an MMO, but then they kind of said, but we can't change it too much from what Diablo 3 was. Like, you know how amazing it would have been if you could hang out in the game because it has multiple things to do. Like, for example, you run into a table where you could play dice or cards, some kind of in game mini game that they invented, like where you play with rooms or you play and you throw bones or whatever, anything that not only gave you more like a side game, like collect all the cards or collect all the rooms, like a side game invented by the game, unique. People could hang out in it, like anything, collecting, doing races, like a lot of like GTA has basketball, it has you go and drink in bars, it has strip clubs. GTA is a perfect game where you go in and there's so many things to do. You're just there and everybody's doing something different. They're in the basketball court, they're playing tennis, they're doing heists. Like they had so much potential in this game to do so many side things, so people could just be doing multiple things that they wanted to do and just be in the game. Just be in the game, whether it's horse racing or dice rolling or PvP, like actual 1v1 or team PvP, not just the open map where people kill each other. There's nothing really, but no, like actual PvP. Like so much things they could have done to make the game better and actually people want to hang out in the game. Like they could have done a whole transmog system where you could color your gear. You could actually, I hate that you can't color your weapons. Like they could have done side missions where if you get far enough, and it would have been hard, you get like the color gold and stuff like that. Like there was so much potential. Secret mounts, not just drops from monsters, but You got to do this whole side quest, and or you got to pass this mini game to get that specific mount. And whoever had that was the best at that game. And then whoever won the horse races got a special cosmetic or a horse trophy that says he was number one in horse. You know, so much potential for so many things to actually hang out in the game, like the things that show off your power, like in MMOs, where his sword glows, and that's the unique sword from this monster that dropped, and only like 3% of the people in the game has it, but it's a cosmetic, not just like here the uber uniques that nobody could see. But no, you sit down in the middle of town and you show off your amazing glowing sword or your amazing glowing wings of Inarius, and everybody's like, "Whoa, look at that guy!" Those are amazing feelings and amazing reasons to hang out in the game, even if you're not playing. And they went full dark again, like the original Diablos, but they should have gone a more extensive, slower, menacing. Like every battle matters, and the power you gain by the end of the game, it actually matters that you're level 100. That you're like, yes, I made it this far. I have the scars to show it. I have been in many battles. I have looked back, and I'm not only traumatized and have PTSD, but I have survived and triumphed. The feeling of this is like the level I'm at. And like an MMO, and people see you and you look cool. You're like they got that right. They got the aesthetics nice and all. But I keep saying, like, dude, the aesthetics are the shop. Everything's so expensive. Like you can't expect people to buy $30, 20 and up, like $20 in one go to buy one thing, like $30, $50, $60 horse. No, you actually, to be honest, you get more money out of me if I spend it in short bursts of $5. I could spend $5 10 times, no problem, because it's only $5, and I could be like, it's only $5, boom, and I could afford that. Just spend again, and it won't hurt as much, and I won't really see the repercussion, even though I'll end up probably spending more money because I spent so many $5. But the fact that everything is $20, $30, I'll spend money once, so you'll only make $30 off of me. But that's just another issue altogether. At the end of the day, Diablo, I don't think it's ever gonna get fixed. I don't think it's ever gonna get better. And this is probably the best it will be. But then after this, what? Everybody races to the end. They probably play another class. They're done. That's why we need more classes. The game is super fast paced. It's not spread out. You don't never enjoy the art of the game, the world they created. At the end of the day, everything seems so pointless. But I do gotta say, I enjoyed it as much as I can. But to be honest, I don't think Diablo is ever gonna be good for the world. People are always gonna find better games. And I can't wait to try Path of Exile, unfortunately, because I feel like maybe they'll do better. Maybe it'll be what I wanted it to be all along. The crazy part about that is that Diablo opened the door for people like me to like action RPG games to a certain point, to be open to play them, basically, to see the potential. And these games could be good as long as they're made correctly. And what's even crazier than that is that Diablo opened the door for people like me to play Path of Exile. It's crazy. But, and what's even crazier on top of that is that Diablo Blizzard is a company that has millions of dollars, possibly billions, and they've invested so much money making this game And they have so many people working on it. So many people working on it, which is a shame. The end of the day is a shame. It's such a shame that it all went to waste. That they could have truly spent their resources doing the game so much better. They truly wanted to make the game appeal to a large casual audience. They needed to have a lot more than just the repeating circles of hell, because that's what it is. It's just repeating the same circle over and over and over and over. And casual players don't want to do this. They want to constantly be engaged with different things, with multiple things at the same time. Like the movie Idiocracy, we want to have multiple screens showing multiple shows all at the same time, and they all need to be equally entertaining. And they really, really missed the mark on everything that the game was, that the game could have been. But at the end of the day, I don't think Diablo's gonna make it. Like, this is probably the best it's gonna be, unless they do the reborn, unless they reborn it, which I really suggest, because you already invested this amount of money. You might as well reborn it and reboot the game from the beginning and redo everything from scratch, and then make it a truly, truly successful game. Because we're here for it. If anything, a lot of us gamers, we have patience to wait for a good game. But if anything, we're glad that this season is so fast, because that way the good side is we get to play less of it. And that's crazy. What makes Diablo good is that we get to play it less. We actually, I could rush through it and play it less. I don't have to play it more than a week. Thank God. And that is messed up. That is so messed up. But at the end of the day, that is just my opinion. If you do agree, please leave a like. If you disagree, leave a dislike. It would be amazing if you leave a comment below telling me your point of view with the game, and probably tell me how I'm wrong, but I still appreciate it. I just wish, and I think we all wish, that Diablo would have been that game. It would have been the forever Diablo. Unfortunately, this is where we are, apparently waiting for Path of Exile. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I want to say about this, and how I feel, the game let me down. To be honest, E4 is gonna be bad, and it's not gonna make it. But that is my 100% honest opinion and my thoughts on how I started and how I'm possibly ending my Diablo journey. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more of me talking about games, and I'll see you guys in the next video.